Big welcome to all of us. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know where you are joining me from. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. How have you been? How have you been? Please give me a signal if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know where you are joining me from. Please begin sharing. Call someone else to be part of us. Please share this on your wall so that someone else can be able to join us. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me also know where you are joining me from. This is Saturday Q&A Live. It's good to have you here. A big welcome, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Please signal me if you can be able to hear me. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. A big welcome, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Let me know where you are joining me from. Please share this with your friends. Share this so that we can be able to learn together. We are coming to you live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, even as we prepare to have this conversation. A big welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. We have 1 minute before we start. We have 1 minute before we start. Please let me know where you're joining me from. Take a moment and share this with your friends. Please share this with someone else. Share this on your wall so that we can be learning together. Please take a moment and share this with your friends. Invite someone else to join us, even as we have this conversation. Share this with someone else. We have a minute just before we begin. Please share with someone else so that we can be learning together. We are coming to you live on YouTube. We are coming to you live on Facebook. Please give us a signal whether you can be able to get us very well wherever it is that you're joining us from. Let me know where you're joining me from. Please feel free to share this so that someone else can be able to join us. And our time is here. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you're joining me from. This is Saturday Q&A Live. Always a pleasure having you in the house. It's another time that God has given us that we get together here to ask questions and answer them, questions that relate to financial literacy and business development. Let me get to big up a few of us who have joined in. Let me know where you're joining from, even as you continue sharing, so that we can invite someone else to join us. Okay, we have Lone Wolf. Thank you so much, joining in from County 013. You can hear me loud and clear. You can be able to hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much, Franny Favored, loud and clear. And Nindo Sylvia, good evening to you. You are getting me loud and clear. From KSA, where was that? Franklin Nhata, I can see you from Zambia. Thank you for opening the door for our Zambian brothers and sisters. Good to have you here. My sister Masinjeru, good to see you. You can hear me loud and clear. Joseph Kahindi from Loyangalani, Marsabit County, good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Baton Nyondo, my brother from Malawi, good to see you. Please keep sharing to call someone else into this class so that we can continue learning together. Samix Abuka, I can see you from Bomayangu. I can see you very well. Duke Manyange, you're joining in from Embakasi. You can get me loud and clear, the same way you got the explosion loud and clear. Mark Nyaboga Arasa. Duke Manyange, we thank God that you are here and the explosion did not affect you. Mark Arasa, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much. So we've gotten confirmations from Facebook and YouTube that we are loud enough, and so we get to proceed. All right, so for those that are new here, welcome. This platform is Coach Roy Okonji. The person you're listening to is yours truly, Coach Roy Okonji. We gather here to just talk about financial literacy and business development. This is where we meet to talk about money, to ask questions about money every Saturday from 8 p.m. East African time. So we ask questions, we get to answer them, and we seek to improve our relationship with money. Every Wednesday, we come to you live once again, what we call Wednesday Night Live. We pick a topic in the world of money and business, and we do justice to it. All right, then we meet today to ask and answer some questions, and sometimes to also focus on a particular area of concern. So this particular week, we were focusing on skills that pay. And I usually begin this conversation by looking at some highlights of the week. And in this particular week, the number one highlight was from the conversation of skills that pay. We had a live session that was a very interesting one. We had very many of you coming on board, sharing your own experiences. We are just talking about skills, that are practical, skills that can give you some money. We have got very many people who studied one thing, and today they are using a different skill to make money. And we defined what skills were, and we said it is possible that you can have knowledge that you cannot effectively deploy to solve a problem. Then it's not a skill. Then we said you also don't just deploy it effectively, you also you can deploy it readily. So if you give someone some work to do and they are hesitating, they don't look confident, then they don't have that skill. They have not mastered that skill. Okay, if you have a skill, then you should readily be willing to, to take up a task and be able to do that particular task to completion effectively. And so we said it is possible that very many of us have acquired skills that we are not using. Very many of us have acquired knowledge that we cannot put into practice. Okay, and therefore the challenge was and still is that we need to begin to think about how we can monetize our skills. And I remember telling those that joined me in that particular live, and the video is still here if you did not find time and go through it. I remember mentioning that I personally believe that you can actually make money from every skill. Okay, but then we were just now looking at practical skills, and the floor was open so that you can also share some of the skills that you have made money from, or that or you have seen giving people some money. And that conversation is still rolling. On Wednesday, I was able to share 10 practical skills that will give you money. And I promise that today, because very many questions were also coming in the same area, we will also progress by mentioning a few more. And then if we will not be able to exhaust next Wednesday, God willing, then we also continue giving that particular conversation some more light. Right, then we go straight into the questions. There are those questions that have come, and at this point, you're also free to begin shooting your questions, and I'll be glad to look at them. There is a question that came in the course of the week. Someone was asking, can public speaking really feed you? And I think I partly answered this question on Wednesday, because public speaking is one of the skills that I mentioned you can actually learn and you can make money from the same. Let me say here categorically that from all the things that I make my money from, public speaking is my cash cow. I make a bigger percentage, or the biggest percentage of all the money I ever receive from public speaking. So I'm a living example that public speaking can actually feed you. But I understand whoever is asking this, because back in the day, I remember I was one of those people. I like saying that I was my own enemy, because I was not believing that public speaking can actually sustain someone. And I remember when I first met my mentor here, my good friend Dr. K.N. Jacob, in 2013. I looked at him, and I remember following him after he had trained us on something. And I looked at, because I helped him carry his bag. I don't know whether he remembers this. On that particular day, after the last day of the training, I carried his bag for him. I took it to the car, and I saw the car he was driving. And I looked at it and I asked him, "Sir, is there anything else you do?" And he told me, "No, this is my main thing. This is all I do." And that began to open my eyes, because I had been doubting all along. People had started telling me, you are cut for the public. You need to be in the public. You are misplaced. You should not be in the bank. You should be in the public space. You should be a lecturer. You should be a politician. All of them just pointing me in the direction of the public. And here is someone who now confirms to me that this is his main thing. And I remember telling him that day that I have a feeling I can do what you're doing, only that I don't know where to start from. Okay, and that's how our friendship began, and that's how my journey began. And today I can confirm to you categorically that public speaking is my #1 source of active income. So that is the straight answer. Yes, public speaking can feed you, but there will be a process before you get to a level where probably you want, or whether a level that you would wish to see yourself. But as long as you're someone who trusts the process, and you can be able to start from somewhere. And on Wednesday, I shared a bit about my own journey in that particular space, just a bit, and I promised I'll be giving you more highlights on the same. It's a skill that can be learned. Okay, and I mentioned also that I'm not one of those that were naturally born stage people. I had to learn about public speaking. So it's something that you can also learn. And then as long as you have a message to give out, and all of us have got something we can give out. All of us have a story. All of us have got experiences. All of us have got some things we have learned, some skills we have picked, some knowledge that we have, which then through public speaking, we can be able to share, and we will be paid for it if we are able to position ourselves very well in the market. So yes, it pays. Number 2, someone was asking, and I think this is in relation to the conversation we had the previous week when we were talking about side hustles. And someone has written to ask, what do you have to say about boda boda or buying a motorbike and employ someone to work, e.g. with a delivery company? Sounds like a good idea. Like I keep saying, in the world of business, every idea is a brilliant idea and every idea is a bogus idea. It depends with a lot of things in between. So the idea itself is a good idea. I know people who've made a lot of money from boda business, but I also know a lot of people who have also not made anything, from the boda business. So the idea of having a boda and employing someone and maybe attaching the bike to a delivery company is a brilliant idea. It takes care of a lot of risks that the open riders will have to go through. But again, it will depend with the company that you are attaching yourself with. How credible is the company? How possible is it that they can be able to meet their side of the bargain? It also depends with the person you will employ. How genuine are they? How honest are they? Are they people who have some self-drive? Are they people who have the right attitude? Can they be able to go an extra mile and do the business that you employ them to do? So yes, it's a good idea, but it can also be a bad idea. If you don't get the right person, if you attach yourself to a company that will be a problematic company, then there will be trouble. All right. So once again, a big welcome to all that have just joined in. I can see a good number of us just joining in. This is Saturday Q&A Live. This is where we gather every Saturday from 8 p.m. East African time to just ask and answer questions about financial literacy and business development. Please feel free to share this. If your ears are loving what you are hearing, please do not be selfish. Don't listen alone. Please share this on your walls. Help me be able to reach out to another person so that we can continue learning together to improve our relationship with money, a soul at a time. All right. So please feel free to share this. And if this is your first time here, please follow me on this platform. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Get to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Coach Roy Okonji. I'm available on all other social media platforms. Just look for Coach Roy Okonji, and we will be able to connect. Right. So we are answering questions, and we are free to ask our questions in the comment section of whichever platform you are joining us from. So we are coming to you live on YouTube. We are coming to you live on Facebook. The only people that are not lucky today are our people on Instagram. Instagram has a few streaming issues that they're trying to resolve. And therefore, for those that are joining us from that particular end, then they will have to cross over to either of these two. Okay, number 3, there's a question here. Someone was asking which side hustles require little supervision. I had mentioned when we spoke about side hustles that an ideal side hustle has got some characteristics, and one of them was that it needs to be a side hustle that you can easily monitor, a side hustle that does not compete or does not put your main hustle into jeopardy. Needs to be a side hustle that utilizes available resources and things like those. So this person is asking, which side hustles require little supervision? Which side hustles requires little supervision? We answered this also in that particular conversation, but just quickly for the sake of the question, we have got some forms of farming that will also require little supervision. There are some crops that if you planted them today, once you're done with the initial phases, then you forget about it for a while. For example, the guys who do tree planting, we have guys who plant trees that they will harvest after several years. So in between here, you don't really have to every day be waking up and going to the farm to see how the trees are doing. And we have also several other kinds of crops, others that will take a year, others that will take very many months, that do not require daily supervision. We also have got animal rearing. It's a brilliant idea, by the way. I think at some point last year, I spoke a bit about it. Where you get to buy animals either when they're still young or they are weak, and then you get to grow them, to fatten them, and then later on you sell. So if you have a piece of land that was idle somewhere, and you bought some animals, you put them in that particular piece of land, probably you have someone helping you to feed the animals, and then once they have grown after a period of time, then you get to sell them. So for that particular one, you will still supervise, but not the constant supervision that a retail shop will require. Okay. We also have rental ventures, and I spoke at length about rental ventures. If you were not there, find time and go through the immediate previous Saturday Q&A live, where I was speaking about the 7 different kinds of income that we have. And I called your attention to the rental income. And I said, you need to listen very carefully, because I was demystifying something that has existed in the air for a very long time. Very many people fear the rental income because they think rental income can only come from rental houses. And because the real estate space is capital intensive, many people, because they don't have that kind of money, when they hear rental income, they shut their systems because they don't have that kind of money. And so that particular Q&A live session, I was trying to demystify and defining what rental income is. And I gave us very simple examples to show you that you can actually make rental income from things that will even require capital of 10,000 Kenya shillings and things like those. I gave us examples of my friend in the wheelbarrow space. I gave us examples of guys who are, renting out these push carts, for people who carry luggage for people in town, the people who have smoky trolleys. They gives them rental income. Rental income is any income you receive for allowing someone else to use your asset, and then they pay you periodically for using your asset. That's rental income. So no one says that rental income can only come from residential property. So if you have the capital to do residential property, fine. But if you don't have, you can still play in the rental bracket by going for assets that are within your reach. Some people have given out their vehicles to other organizations to use them, and they are paid rental income. Some people have bought chairs that they give out to events, and they price per chair, those plastic chairs or whichever kind of chairs. And people come and hire those chairs, and they pay you for using your chairs. They are paying you rental income. Some people have got tents, and when people hire your tents for events, they pay you rental income. Like I've always told you, my work is usually to try and simplify these things. I have no intention in complicating these matters. So go to that particular Q&A live at your own free time. I broke down, these 7 kinds of income, these 7 kinds of incomes with simple examples that will help you begin to see, how that can be helpful. So yes, some rental ventures, such as the ones I have explained, may not require close and daily supervision the way a retail business will do. Then there's also buying and selling of property. You can also be buying and selling pieces of land, or selling some property on behalf of the owners of those properties, and they pay you commission. So there's nothing you're supervising of some money. So you can buy a piece of land and wait for it to appreciate, and you will in the next X number of years. So in between here, you don't have every day to wake up and go to your piece of land. There is nothing in between here that you'll be doing to it every other day. Right. So I hope that is flowing very, very well. I can see a good number of us have just joined in. So before we, because the next question was other skills that can make you money. Other skills that can make you money. So before I get to answer that one, let me get to recognize a few of you that have just joined in. Please feel free to let me know where you are joining me from. Continue sharing this with your friends. Please share this on your wall. Invite someone else. Like I have always told us, that is the only way you can help me be able to reach to that other person, and so that together we can continue to learn these things together. Right. Duke, you are saying indeed God is great always. Yes, because he has protected you. Alfred Orido, you're watching from Nakuru. Good to have you. Good to see you here as always. Jakapunda, you're saying Nico class, zero interruption. You are saying that you also follow Dr. K.N. Jacob as well. Right, good to hear that. Good to hear that. King Barto, you're saying that you are getting me loud and clear, and you are joining me from Arusha, Tanzania. Good to have you here. Koda MW, how can you invest in your home country while you are abroad? Is a question that has come here many times. We have also said very many things about it. It just depends with a lot of things, including circumstances that surround you, including the people that you have on the ground. We have got people who have relatives on the ground that are very supportive, but we have others who don't have those kind of people supporting them. So for the ones that have got people on the ground that can be able to, oversee some of their projects, then they will have a lot of things that they can do. So there are people who have invested in real estate. They're in other countries, but back home they have invested in real estate. They're buying properties. And we have spoken about this before, and I remember mentioning that for someone who is out of the country, and they are hoping that one day they will come back, for that particular person, one of the things that are crucial to them is the preservation of their capital. So at that point, you also want to be very careful the kind of risks you want to take, so that you don't spend all your years in a foreign country and then you come back empty-handed, simply because you are investing in high-risk ventures as you tried to get very high risks. There are some risks that you can manage when you are on the ground, okay? But if you are to entrust other people to take care of those risks on your behalf, you might lose your money. So then I mentioned that for people who are out of their country, one of the focuses I deem useful for such people is preservation of capital. And that's why for them, options such as bonds can be working for them, because they know they are there for X number of years, and therefore before they come back, they want to put together some things, some money that when they land, now they can be able to invest into whichever venture that they were dreaming of investing in. We spoke about the money market space for them. We spoke about the passive real estate space for them, where if you are able, you can buy some pieces of land depending on the circumstances that surround real estate in your country. But you can buy some pieces of land if they are still appreciating where you come from, and as you project the years you anticipate to work out of the country, then when you come back, you can liquidate some of those properties, and then you can now use that money to do or to invest in any other place that you would want to invest, when you can monitor the risks while you are here. I have also met and sat down with very many people who are out of the country but who have invested in farming. But again, that depends with the kind of support system that they have back at home. So that depends with what surrounds you. Okay, so there are many things that would work for different people depending on their circumstances. Once again, feel free to reach out for a one-on-one session if you want us to get personal on this, and I will be glad to be of service to you. So thank you so much, Koda MW. Esther Wambua, following from Nakuru. Elijah Wango, you saying that I brighten your day every time. We return glory and honor to God. It's good to hear that you find value here. Duke Nyakwana, I can see you are saying financial literacy is a cake for all of us. Let us share and grow together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Duke. Please, like Duke is mentioning, please share with someone else, invite someone else to be part of us so that we can continue learning together. Okay. CSK Control. Can a loan be used as a saving plan and putting the money into investment plan like money market fund? loans that are deducted monthly from the salary. Kindly tackle this. CSK Control, I will tackle that. Now, I know there are people who want to look at savings, or rather at loans, as an avenue of saving. Maybe you realize that if you were to save bit by bit, you don't have the discipline to allow you to put together money bit by bit. And so some people opt to go for a loan so that they can get that money at once. And then now they say, I have this money, it is easier for me to be deducted from my salary. Again, different things work for different people depending on your self-awareness. If you realize that you are weak, your discipline is wanting, then you might be tempted to go into that particular way of thinking. But allow me to caution you. Like the question is saying, you take that particular loan and you put the money in an investment platform. It makes financial sense if the rate you expect to earn from that money is bigger than the rate you got the money at. For example, if you borrow the loan at 15% per annum and you put it in a place that is going to give you 6% per annum, you are actually moving backwards. Okay, so there will be a time you will be excited that that you have some money, you have borrowed, you have $1 million shillings. So this is money you've gotten from the loan. But remember, the loan is being repaid and there is interest being charged. In the fullness of time, by the time you clear the loan you took, you will have paid on that particular money more interest than the interest you received from where you put the money. So if the drive was for you to invest, are you really sure that you have invested? If you have given out more money than what you have gotten from this money, it technically means you would actually be better off having done nothing, financially speaking. Okay. But if you have a way of converting that money into something that can give you more returns than what the loan is taking from you, and that makes sense, completely makes sense. So just try to ask yourself that question before you rush into it. That once I get this particular money, what am I planning to do with the money? Where I want to take the money? What is the rate of return that is likely going to come out of it? And for how long can I also stay with this money? That's another question you need to also know. And then you can compare that with the duration of the loan. Because some of us borrow money thinking that this is the money we will use for investment. And then we end up again starting to spend the same money, yet we are paying very high rates compared to any returns that we are receiving out of the same money. And then by the time the loan is coming to an end, or even before the loan gets to an end, you have also eaten into that particular money. So you don't have the money, you have a loan you are paying, and you have interest you have paid on top of that loan. So I hope that makes some sense. Albert Simiu from Isiolo, always a pleasure having you here. Kombe Nkumbula, you're following. Good to see you, my brother. Dominic Okongo from Komarok, good to see you. Elijah Wango from Nanyuki, always a pleasure having you here. Peter Mengo, joining in from Taita Taveta County, good to see you, good to see you. Iraki Monica from Mombasa, good to have you here. Keep sharing, good people, keep sharing so that we have someone else joining us. Gitemba Kefas, good to see you from Machakos. Eagles Media Namibia, good to have you here. You're saying that you are happy to have stumbled on me here, and you're saying that you have literally watched almost every content online. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good to hear that. James Onyango, you are following from Eldoret. Good to see you. Emily Ruto from Buruburu, good to have you here. Let me know where you're joining me from once again, and a big welcome to those that have just joined in. Emily Ruto, welcome. Collins Otachi from Embu, you are ready to take in wisdom, and I hope the wisdom is flowing. We are just about to add a number of practical skills that can pay you money. Okay, so I'm just welcoming a few that have just joined so that we can be able to learn together. So while we do this, feel free to share so that someone else can also be able to join us. Right. Benson Madunda from Gina Road, Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much. You're saying this is inspirational. Aha. Someone has defined CSK Control. You're saying it's Brian from Kiambu. Ah, nice. Brian, good to see you. You're enjoying the class. Thank you so much. Felix Okinyi, you have joined late. Don't worry, the video will stay here. You can always play back. There is a question here from Dominic. Dominic, you're asking, at what stage in business should one take a loan to expand the business? The answer is actually in that particular question, because at least you are recognizing that in a business setting, many lenders want to give you money to expand the business. So at what point would it be advisable to take the loan? One, at a point where you have mastered the operations of the business and you have realized that there is a level you want to move to, and probably you are constrained financially. So first of all, you must have run the business, for a while, and this while is not uniform for everyone. Okay, so you have gotten to a point where you realize that maybe you have many customers who are asking for things you don't have because your working capital is limited. And therefore, you might then require to look for some credit facility to be able to help you. And credit facility is not just a loan in business. Credit includes supplier credit, where you now go and negotiate with your suppliers so that they can be giving you some supplies on credit. Then you repay them once you have sold. Okay, so it will occur at different levels for different kinds of businesses. But the answer I was mentioning is in your question, which is a good thing, is the fact that it works very well for business when you go to borrow for expansion. That means you have been running this business for a while, you understand it, then you know what is needed to probably be able to solve an existing problem or a gap. Okay, unlike someone who is just starting. If you're just starting, you might borrow money that can easily put you into a lot of pressure. And many times I like saying that if you must borrow for business, for starting a business, then as much as it's practically possible, look for patient debt. Patient debt is the kind of debt that can allow you some time to be able to give your business ample time to be able to stand on its own feet. Okay. Or number two, you have another source of income. Maybe you are employed and the loan can be deducted from your pay slip without leaving you struggling. So you have solid ability. So you borrow against that ability. You can continue running your life as usual as you nurture this business. So if you have another source that can repay the loan without a lot of pressure, then those would be the only circumstances I would say then you can consider credit for startup. Okay, but it works very well for development of business. Okay. All right. Very good. Oscar, I can see you from Okaya. I can see you from Kampala, Uganda. Maxwell Oyoko from Bungoma. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So let's very quickly move into a few of practical skills that can also give you money. Like I have mentioned, this is a conversation that we will also carry forward into Wednesday, as we are doing Wednesday night live, so that we continue doing justice to it. Okay, so I gave us 10 on Wednesday. Again, like I said, if you missed this, please go to Wednesday night live of the immediate Wednesday, the Wednesday of this week. You'll be able to, catch up with those 10 that we mentioned. So allow me to mention a few more in the few minutes that we have, and then we can then look forward to completing, or rather continuing with that conversation. Number 11 now, or the first one for today, is social media handling and marketing skills. We are in an age where we cannot ignore the power of social media. We can't ignore. And therefore, if you can have chance to learn, to acquire some social media marketing skills, some social media handling skills, you can be able to handle social media for people, and they will pay you. You can also be able to help people market their products, or to market your own products on social media. But most importantly, other people can pay you so that you can help them in selling their products through social media marketing. So that's a skill that you can also consider having. Then the next one is graphic design. Graphic design. That's a skill that can give you money. It's a skill you can learn. And like I said on Wednesday, these are skills you can learn in a short span of time. These are skills that can be learned in a short span of time. Okay. So you can learn about graphic design. You can be designing posters for people. There are many people who organize for events and they want people to design posters for them. You can be designing people's wedding cards. People are still wedding, even though the physical cards no longer happen. We have e-cards happening, and people charge, to make those e-cards. Companies are looking for people who have those kind of skills, so that you can be doing e-shots for them and things like those. So graphic design is something whose relevance is still needed up to this day. So it is a skill that you can actually acquire. You can go to some school where they teach graphic design. You can also learn online. You can also attach yourself to someone who is already doing it, and you will be able to capture those skills as long as you have the interest. And all of us can be able to learn, bits that can be able to help us. Okay, allow me to also confirm that I don't have proficiency in graphic design, but I have also made money from designing some of these things. Okay, I remember last year I made some money from designing some, or rather making some certificates for some organizations. Okay, so if your antennas are up high, these are skills that you can easily grab. And if you see some low-hanging fruits, low-hanging money somewhere, these are skills that can easily, give you money that can help you run a few things here and there. The third one that I want to mention today is the skill of nursing. The skill of nursing. When we began this conversation, we also mentioned that one of the things that triggered me to come up with this was what our cabinet secretary for labor said, that Kenyans don't have skills that fit in the international market. And you know how you reacted to that particular post, because I posted it on this particular wall on Facebook. I know those of you that are following on YouTube, you may not have seen it. And people came, to say they need to tell us which jobs are these that we don't qualify for those, so that we can be able to see the kind of skills we need to get. And we said we will talk about these skills so that they help us not outside this country, but also inside this country. But nursing is one of those skills that the international space, is not satisfied with yet. Is a skill that still has a lot of potential. There are countries where you will be told, if you are a nurse, you get to fit in very easily, because they are looking for nurses. And for interesting reasons, nurses from this side of the world happen to be able to execute their roles in ways that dazzle those the employers in those countries. So you can also consider, if you have passion in this, you can also consider going back to school and acquiring these particular skills. And this can earn you money both here and also out of the country. Because in the jobs that they are saying we don't have skills, many of them will also be jobs that will be requiring nurses. Okay. The fourth one, today we are going a bit faster. Teaching is a skill that that can also make you money, both here at home and outside this country. So if you have some passion for teaching, and you can teach anything that you know that you're good at, you can teach. Okay, you can teach. I am teaching what, the little I know in the space of financial literacy and business development. And that's what I do every day. Okay, that's what I do every day. I've written books about this. I train about this. I speak about this every other time. That is what I do. That is that's the thing that calls me and I respond. Okay, so there are those who will go to teach in academia, in the space of formal education. So if you are that kind of person, then go and acquire those skills. It will take you 2 years or so. Then you can be able to fit yourself somewhere. So you can, choose whichever level you want to teach. If you choose to go into the academic space, the formal teaching space. So there are those who will teach in ECDs. There are those who will teach in primary, there are those who will teach in high schools, there are those who will teach in colleges as tutors, and there are those who will also lecture in universities. All of those are teaching jobs. Then there are those who will teach in the public space, like myself. So teaching is a skill that can give you money. There are countries where people are looking for teachers of languages. The people there want to learn about Swahili, people there want to learn about English, and they're looking for teachers. So if you have proficiency in English or Swahili, then that is a skill that can also give you money. Once again, feel free to also comment here with the skills that you think will make you money, skills that you are currently making money from, so that we can also continue just adding to this list, so that we see how we can be able to improve ourselves and to also encourage ourselves. Okay, so let me see what we are saying. Just to welcome a few that have just joined in. How can you be able to build a balanced portfolio in a flexible manner, being a low or medium income earner? Thank you so much, Kips Korir. This is a question that will also, give light a lot when we will also be talking about investment basics. Investment basics. I think very soon I'll call for a webinar. We said we will be having random monthly webinars, so I'll be calling for a webinar so that we can also be able to take ourselves through the basics of investment, so that we can be able to demystify some of these things. But I like the fact that you're saying being a low and medium income earner, so that means you already know yourself. And like I have said, the best place to start the journey of success in anything is to get to know yourself, get to know what you're good at, get to know, the things that, that work for you, things that affect you, things that confuse you, and so on. So once you get to know the kind of person you are or the kind of income you have, then you begin to look for which options are these that can be able to help me. But before then, you also want to ask yourself, why am I investing? Why do I feel the need to invest? What do I want to achieve? What is the end game in this investment thing? What do I expect out of an ideal investment? For another person, it is supplementary income so that they can have something coming to support the current income. For another person, is to prepare for a project they will venture in 5 years from today. For another person is to prepare for, whatever it is that they will want to do some years from today and so on. So once you get to know where you are headed with this particular story, if you are a low or medium income earner, it means that you are not receiving money that is lump sum every other month. So you may start by looking for options that help you to build your portfolio. And that is where you will find options like the money market funds, because they allow you to be injecting money in periodically. They don't have restrictions of how much money you can join with. Okay, unlike the bond space where you have to bid. So once you bought a bond of say 100,000, that's it. If you have another amount of money, you have to bid for a different for a different one. The money market space allows you to be adding money. Their rate of return plays almost at the same rate. The bonds might slightly outshine the money market fund, depending on who is your provider of the money market fund. But in many instances, they will be neighbors in the bracket of what they give us returns. Okay, so then use such platforms to be able to build whatever it is that you are building. Then once the money gets to a certain amount, then you can be able to transfer it to an investment of your choice. So that might be something that you can consider. Right, Lon, you're saying next time, coach, please teach us how to say no without feeling guilty at all. Okay, no problem. I will say that again. I have mentioned a few things about that. I will also say a few things about it in the days to come. Jano, good to have you here. Good to have you. Thank you so much. You're saying ECE is a good one. We are looking for ECE teachers. Yes, come to Netherlands or Canada. They are looking for ECE teachers. Thank you so much, Jano, for making this be as practical as it should. When we say teaching is a skill that can give you some money, that is what we mean. All right. Elijah, you are saying skills in automotive repair and maintenance industry are also well paying. Yes. That is part of the 10 that I mentioned on Wednesday. Those are skills that can give you money and they are actually paying. Colin Sotachi, you are also mentioning photography. Yes. That is a skill that actually pays money. Photography and videography, together with editing as a separate skill. I want to agree with you a lot because it is part of those skills that I have seen people make money. Jano, there is someone asking, what do you mean by ECE? Maybe you can break it down so that someone can be able to understand. Then there is, you have added videography. Moses Musonda, you're the one asking that particular question. Okay. So the last skill for today is voiceovers. The skill that utilizes your voice. Okay. There are people who are blessed with very outstanding voices. There is someone you will talk to and you cannot fail to realize that their voice is a unique voice. And I'm one of those people who do not fail to recognize such voices. And there are very many people I have told, this voice can take you places. This voice can take you places. So if you're one of those people, you have a voice that is a voice that can make heads turn, then you are sitting on an asset. I also mentioned last week that you can commercialize anything. And even today, there's a video I posted on all platforms where I was saying that you can commercialize anything. And I was sharing with you what I did in the past when I used to sell articles. Out of passion for writing articles, I wrote articles at a certain point for a whole year. I used to write articles every Monday. I used to call them Focus Talks, and some of you were recipients of Focus Talks. And every Monday morning, I would be churning out inspirational articles. And I did that religiously for 52 weeks in that year. So the year that followed, I had developed a following, a religious following. So I said, I will not stop writing, I'll continue, but this time round, I'll be writing only for subscribers, for those who have paid some subscription fee. And I was charging an article at 50 Kenya shillings. Okay. And I had options. You can pay, subscribe for the whole year, subscribe for a month or a number of months, or you can be paying weekly per article. And yes, I made a few shillings out of that. So you can commercialize anything. And I keep telling you, if you have any of those things that maybe you want to commercialize and it's not coming very well how you can do it, feel free to book for a one-on-one session, and I will be glad to sit with you, get to understand what it is, and be able to guide you on how you can be able to commercialize whatever it is. So I was talking about your voice. So if you have this kind of voice that people keep telling you, you have a good voice, you have a good voice, please do not take it as a joke. Okay, so now that we are in the information age, information is easily accessible. There are times when media stations will be asking for auditions. You can also go and just audition and get to see how it goes. Because one good thing about those voices, they're usually very easy to pick from a distance, right? So you can go for the auditions, and you can also, try voiceovers. This is where you are the voice behind adverts. I'm sure you've seen when adverts are rolling, we have guys who have got, gentlemen and ladies who have got voices that we say locally, sauti za kutoa nyoka pangoni, voices that can actually call snakes out of their, hiding places. Okay, so you can try, voiceovers. You can be recording yourself, and you can also be sharing on your social media. One day it might land to someone who wants their products advertised, and they are in love with your language, your voice, and they want to use that particular voice. Okay, so thank you so much. Those 5 will be enough for today. But like I have said, please book a date with me on Wednesday, God willing, 8 p.m. East African time. We do Wednesday Night Live, and we get to dig deeper into more practical skills that can give you money. Okay, practical skills that pay. A few announcements. One is that the Entrepreneurship Development Program, the class of 12 weeks, is beginning on the 13th of February. On my Facebook page, there is a link that you need to press to express interest. Okay, so this is where we will just sit down and begin to learn about business. So it is a program for people in business, a program for people who aspire to be in business at some point, a program for people who wish to have business as their side hustle, and a program for anyone who wants to acquire business skills. Okay, so it's an elaborate 12-week session. We'll be meeting for 2 hours. It's a virtual program, so we'll be meeting virtually, so it does not matter which country you are coming from. So you just need to express interest, and then we will be closing expression of interest on the 7th. So we just have a few days left. Please take note of that, so that once we have closed, you don't you don't come and say you've been locked out. Okay, so express your interest. When you get to follow that link, it will give you details. You just need to register. Expression of interest is free of charge. So the form is just asking about your email address, your phone contact, the country you're coming from, and you choose your payment option, whether you choose one bullet payment, or 2 installments, or 3 installments. And it is telling you the kind of installments that we are talking about. Okay, so you can take advantage of the introductory discount that we said, because like I mentioned, it's a program I've been partnering with corporate entities to facilitate. And then you people said last year that I should bring it to the public. So I've brought it to you to take advantage of. So we are giving 50% introductory discount. So you look at the posters, they are all over splashed on my walls, and express your interest, and I'll be glad to respond and to work with you in that particular journey. Once again, feel free to book your one-on-one sessions. Should you need one-on-one coaching in any of these matters, we'll be glad to also work with you as you get to do that. For those that are interested in my books, feel free to inbox, and we'll be glad to assist you. Right, so let me just recognize a few that have just joined in, even as we wind up. Jano, you have explained, so I hope whoever was asking what ECE is early childhood education. So so that is okay. All right. So thank you so much, James Onyango. I have seen your question. Usually what happens once our time runs out is that when we start next time, we will start with the questions we have not answered today. So don't worry. I have seen your question, and we will respond to it next time we begin. Duke, you're mentioning dairy farming pays. Yes, you source for heifers, and wow, you've given us some insights there on how. I have displayed that on the screen for all of us to see. Chindoro Bora from Kwale, good to see you here. Thank you so much. Moses, you're saying that I did not respond to you on WhatsApp. Okay, I will check and see. We've had an influx of messages this past 1 week or so. So I know there are messages that if they needed my personal attention, there are messages that I've not gotten to, but I will get to it and get to respond. So good people, it was a pleasure having you. Good to have had you here. Let's have a date on Wednesday, next week, God willing. Let's do Wednesday night live, and let's continue breaking down this conversation of skills that pay. So feel free to share this. The video will remain here. You can come back and replay and pick your notes. Feel free to invite your friends so that they can also follow me. If today was your first time, please press the follow button, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that we continue learning together. Feel free to leave comments. There are very many videos on all my platforms where we can be interacting and getting better at our relationship with money. So may God bless you. May God keep you very well and safe. Until we meet again next time, I want to wish you all the best. I want to wish you success in your endeavors because I only believe one thing, that you can do better. Thank you so much. God bless you until we meet again. Peace.